All right, what's up? In this video, I wanted to walk you through a reflection of 2024. Like, how can we take the lessons, the insights, the learnings from 2024 and roll them forward into 2025 so we can make better decisions for our life and business? I believe that there are like two parts that we really have to cultivate and create, right? We've got this kind of life that we're building, and we've got this business that we're building, and we have to have experiences in our life and we have to have growth in our business. We don't have to have anything, but like it'd be nice to have both, right? Experiences and growth. And I was having a conversation with my daughter. She's doing a mock exams for her GCSEs right now. And I was like, hey babe, it'd be really helpful if you took a moment every night to just like look over the exam and like what went well, what didn't go so well, what would you need to focus on in order to bring your best self to your GCSEs come next year. And I think this forward-focused reflection is like something we don't do enough of. And as men, I think we find it very hard to be proud of ourselves. We find it very hard to find our areas of growth. We often look at what we haven't got and where we're not, instead of what we have grown through and what we have. And this is a skill. This is a skill that we have to cultivate if we truly want to curate and cultivate confidence within. Because confidence is the byproduct of courage and reflection. Confidence isn't something that you have or don't have. It's something that you create and generate. And confidence is something that you get as a byproduct of doing work. And, you know, if I'm a brown belt in jiu-jitsu and I'm really pressing hard for my black belt over the next 12 months. I think I'm capable of it. I'm ready to get it. And this next 12 months is going to be the point where I like really put my foot down to get it. And if I only ever focused on the fact that I have my good friend, Matty Holmes. He's competed on Polaris. He's fucking great competitor. And he's like he doesn't know. I mean, he's like one of my great friends in jiu-jitsu, but also my arch nemesis. And he's my Joker to Batman, right? And every time we get on the mat, like it's fucking hard. And I'm always looking for like, what did I do well? He's I think like a 2-stripe black belt right now. He's been training a lot longer than me. Arguably fucking lives and breathes jiu-jitsu, is great, like studies it, everything. And like, I have a really fucking hard time against him a lot. And as good as I am, like he's the level for me. And I always say to him a joke, it's like, if it doesn't work against Matty, it doesn't work. And so when I grapple with Matty, my reflection is like, what did I do well? Right? Where did I get caught? Like, what were my downfalls? Where do I keep getting caught? And it's this reflection that allows me to extract value, because it is my responsibility in life to extract value from everything. And what we're actually looking for is this like bundle of value just placed upon our lap. And if we don't take time to reflect upon the year that's passed and look forward to the year ahead, and we don't extract the lessons, the insights, the wins, the value, it's going to be very difficult for us to move forward with anything different than we did this year. And we're going to repeat the same shit that we did year on year on year on year. And for many of you, that is the quintessential problem that you have right now, is that you're laying down last year on top of this year, on top of next year. And I want you to know that there is a strategic way, and I'm going to walk you through it right now, that you could extract value from 2024 and bundle it forward into 2025 so you can make better decisions, different decisions. You can create different dynamics for yourself. So take a moment, grab a pen, pause this video if you need to, but I want you to answer these questions as we go through it. I'm going to riff off. I have a framework that I do with clients, but I'm going to do that and riff off on some side tangents also. The first thing that I want you to acknowledge is what you're most proud of this year. Like, what are you most proud of this year? And that could be something simple. Like, I'm so proud that I kept showing up even though it was fucking hard. I'm so proud in the way in which I served my clients this year. I'm so proud of the results I got my clients this year. I'm so proud that like I kept fucking doing the thing with consistency, even though the results weren't there for me. I was chatting to Dylan before this. He's behind the camera. And he was talking about his podcast, and he's like, just keep fucking, I'm like, you still doing the podcast? He's like, yeah, it keeps creating episodes. And then eventually, like, you just hit this fucking flat line, and then something takes off, and then it starts to get momentum. And if that's your experience right now, and you're like in that flat line, most of us are going to go, I'm not getting the results I want. So how could I possibly be proud of that? The reality is that the thing you should be proud about is showing up in spite of the results. And so I want you to look for the value even in the challenge. Like, I want you to extract the fucking piece of magic from the darkness. Equally, I want you to celebrate the highs. And so what is it about your year that you're incredibly proud of? What is it about your year that you're incredibly proud of? And just get as much down as you can. Are you proud in the way in which you showed up for your kids? Are you proud in the way in which you showed up for your partner? Are you proud in the way in which you tackled your fitness? And this is just an inventory. Like, fucking go. Don't stop. Next, what have you grown through this year? So, like, what is it that you have experienced growth as a direct byproduct of challenge? So, for example, I'll go through the jujitsu side of things again. Like, if you've been, there's a lot of people that are in my realm who like just started jujitsu or white belt, blue belts, whatever. Well, maybe you've just been getting your ass handed to you for an entire year. And now, right now, you're starting to make some traction. Maybe you got your blue belt. Have you grown through getting your ass handed to you for 12 months? And my little boy got his first stripe on his belt the other day. He's been training for like 8 months. And to witness his journey, from the early days and falling over, getting, tears coming and hurting himself, and to see him just getting back up and going again and going again and going again. And last night as we were training, he took like a foot to the rib, and like I could see it kind of winded him. And he's like, oh. And he was like, I think I need to sit out. I was like, come here. Little fist bump. And he's back on the mat. And like, to witness that in him is so beautiful. So like, where have you grown through challenge this year? Where have you overcome things that you didn't think you'd overcome, and you've come out stronger the other side? Really think about that and just make a list of as many things as you can. You might want to reflect on this as well, like over the next day or so. Number three, what did you set out to do this year that you didn't get done? Like, what did you say at the start of the year? I'm going to really fucking do this thing, and you didn't quite get it done. Now, there's also a lesson here, because sometimes the fact we didn't get it done is just a sign that it actually wasn't something that was aligned. So I want you to ask yourself the question, if I didn't get this done, was this because I avoided it, I procrastinated, or was it because this was out of alignment and I actually thought I wanted something that I didn't? And the reason this is beautiful is that what we want to do is start closing loops. If you're anything like me, you'll have 1,000 tabs open on your computer at any given time, and you'll notice how that impacts performance. And every now and then you've got to go and close those tabs. Otherwise, it's going to clutter your computer, your desktop, your mind. It's the same in our mind. If we have open loops and we have this thing that we keep saying to ourselves, I've got to keep doing this thing. I need to do that thing. I need to do this. Then you've got to understand, like, did you not do it because it wasn't in alignment? And so you just set out to do something that truly wasn't something that you were that interested in? Or did you not do it because you were afraid, or you procrastinated, or you avoided? And it's really important to distinguish between the two, because the next question is, out of those things, what is incredibly important that you get done next year, and how do you ensure that you get it done? So important. Like, how do you ensure that you get it done? If it is incredibly important, how do you ensure you get it done? My black belt was on my list this year. I really, really wanted to get my black belt. And unfortunately, with all of the travel, I had 6 weeks in Asia. I just had like so many things going on that I thought I was going to do. My eyes and my romantic eyes, it was like, when I go to Bali, I'm going to be there for a month, and I'm going to train every day, and it's going to be amazing. I'm going to go to jiu-jitsu like every day of the week. And what ended up happening was I didn't do that at all. Where I was situated, the traffic scenario, like everything just didn't line up the way that I'd hoped. And so you've got to understand that sometimes like things are in your control and sometimes things aren't. And now, like, I know next year it's like, okay, cool. I need to, what I didn't do this year was create structure, like competitions. Like, how can I create a competition? Dun, 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 dun. I've got something to train for continuously throughout the calendar. And so part of me planning for 2025 is like sitting down and go, all right, cool. Let me look at the calendar. Let me look at like when I'm unavailable, and let me look at the competitions, and let's see where I can start to compete next year. And then what do I need to do differently with my training, right? Like, how do I need to show up differently? I had a conversation with Paul, my coach, about going to train with the pros and like the pro MMA fighters and making sure that I get in with those and changing up my work schedule because they train in the day. And there are so many things about that gives us insight into the next year that I can do differently. Because we all hold a schedule or a routine. And what happens is we get into a routine, and that routine becomes a rut. It becomes this thing that we just do. And it's like we train these days, we do business things these days, and that's our blueprint. And our schedule is the blueprint for our life. Like how we live a day and a week is how we'll live a month and a year. And so if you want a different year, then you need a different day and a different week. And that's how granular you have to get. And it's so important that you tackle that in a way that is just like really strategic. You go, hey, here's my calendar right now. Like, how would I like that to be different next year? What are all the things that I said I was going to get done that I didn't get done this year? What's not important? Let's discard them. What is important? And how do I make sure that I get that done next year? Where am I going to put it into my calendar? Where am I going to create space for it? And then finally, the final question is, thinking about the year ahead, what would need to happen by December 2025 in order for you to be incredibly proud of the progress that you made throughout the year? So you can start to see how this is like a full loop. So that when you get back to 2025, you can look back like, what are you most proud of? Oh shit, the things that I said I was going to be doing that would make me incredibly proud in December, I've done a lot of those things. And this is why it's like forward focus reflection. We're taking the lessons from now, we're looking forward into the future. And so what would have to happen for you to be incredibly proud with your progress in 2025? Like, what things would need to happen in terms of your relationship, in your, in your parenthood, like in your fitness, in your health, in your business, in your life, in your travel? Like, what is it that you would need to experience across the board? And I want you to really take time. Like, you might take an hour and you might watch this video again. You might take an hour and go through this whole thing and just brainstorm it all. Get it all down. Get it all on paper. Sometimes as we think about stuff, it's very different to when we write that thing down. And if you're committed to having the best year of your life, then this requires you to do things differently than you're doing right now. And often that's going to be you showing up in a different way to how you do right now. So if you haven't done this before, maybe do this. Do something different to your habitual way of doing things, because we have patterns, and those patterns become our days, weeks, months, and years, and ultimately our life. And if you want to break the cycle of the life that you're living currently, you got to show up differently. All right. So if you had some fun with this, if this was helpful and valuable, please leave me a comment below, hit like, subscribe, do all that jazz. And any questions, feel free to find me on Instagram. Link is in the description, and I'll see you over there. Peace.